Right. All right. Let's open this final audit and risk insurance committee meeting, the final one of the triennium, with the open Karakia. Okay. Right, good. Thank you. Right, we've got apologies. We've got apologies from Deputy Mayor Steve. Do I have a mover? Mayor Ron, do I have a seconder? I'll second. All those in favour, please say aye. It's carried. Are there any conflicts of interest that need to be declared? There are none. I don't have any public forum. Right, this last formal meeting.
Not good.
We had another council meeting at all, is this it?
Inaugural.
This is it. Right. So, audit. You can. We've got Audit New Zealand. Sefton, welcome. You want to open your camera and turn your mic on? We'll just do a quick intro.
Thank you very much. Sorry, can you see me now? Hopefully.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, mate.
Thank you.
So I understand your audit team are in progress doing our annual report. So
that is correct. The team has started the final audit this week, and you'll gradually get a build-up of the team members. We're working towards making sure that we can complete the audit by the 29th, which is the date that's proposed for the signing of the audit opinion and the annual report.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Are you planning on sitting through our very brief meeting? We've only got really two major items, one being the peer review of the community survey, which might interest you, and also our draft annual report.
If I could be excused, I just wanted to touch a few things, if that's okay, very, very quickly, and then I'll leave.
You're a busy man.
Oh, thank you. Just firstly, apologies from the others. They couldn't make it today. We're just still scrambling in terms of the government audits that have just been completed. That's not an excuse, so I'll front it up here. A quick comment on the survey review. That was really good. There's actually real value in having undertaken that, undertaking the peer review. From my own perspective, it adds a robustness to the process and certainly gives assurances over the non-financial measures that the survey supports. So, yeah, well done in actually achieving that. Very quickly on the draft annual report, thank you for that. We've received a copy. We're making our way through that at the moment. Like I said, the team is started to come on site. Most of them are now should be coming on today. I just wanted to highlight the potential opinion-related matters, which is also in the agenda. The road smoothness, performance information. I think we're still working through that with the service provider or the consultants. For some of those issues, we'd like to sort of get a handle on where we're headed and whether the issues raised in the past have been addressed. The second one regarding the Castle Rock investment, yes, we understand that PwC has undertaken a review of those. We'll be quite keen to go through that and see if we can actually address that. The third one, or the very first one you've got there, the annual residence survey, I can categorically say at this point in time, I think that's no longer an issue this year. So.
Okay, it's all right. That's all we ask of you for 1 year at a time.
Could he stay until we get to item 7? Because you've still got to go through minutes.
Yeah. Can you just quickly, I mean, we are very welcome to stay. We'll do the minutes and then we might actually do the peer review of the community survey, we will probably be about 3 minutes for the agenda item. All right. Thank you for that. So we've got on page 6, we've got the minutes of our previous meeting held 13th of August. Can I have a mover, please? I'll move. To have a seconder? Mayor Ron. All those in favour? No discussion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Right. Item 7.1, page 14, the community survey.
Invite Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah.
Has been the architect of our community survey. It's at waiting by for the peer review of her work, which looks like it's come back saying she's done an outstanding job, which we are very grateful for and we knew to start with.
Yep.
But Sarah has been the architect of the community survey and
Yep. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Kia ora koutou. So I'm just here to present the peer review of the community survey conducted by PwC. So as background, Audit NZ has indicated that in the future they might look at the processes around the internal delivery and methodology of our community survey as part of their work. In preparation for that, we've commissioned a formal peer review to ensure our approach is robust, transparent and aligned with best practice. This review by PwC helps us demonstrate the integrity of our methods and supports our commitment to continuous improvement. So you will know we delivered it internally for the first time in 2025, driven by cost efficiency, fair access and a desire for more inclusive engagement. The focus of the peer review included the design, the methodology, the data handling and the alignment with our LFP performance measures. PwC found the survey to be methodologically sound, well aligned with our strategic objectives and enhanced by the open participation model and multi-channel distribution. They noted the benefits of an in-house approach, lower cost, faster turnaround, improved internal capability, and they provided some recommendations for further refinement in the future, such as adding don't know or no experience options rather than just NA, using some skip logic and some service screeners if potentially you didn't use a service that we were asking about, and collecting additional demographic data so we could further break down and review surveys and review the results in different ways, and also including some more Te Reo Māori translations. So the next steps are that management will consider these recommendations for the 2026 survey and bring them to the December Council workshop, and the review will also be shared with Audit New Zealand to support the 2024-25 annual report. So today I'm here to seek the committee's endorsement of the PwC peer review report. Any questions?
Any questions? No questions? Comments? Any comments?
Yeah, look, I just, to the whole of the team, I want to congratulate you. When we made the decision in this training not to do a public survey, it was a cost-driven decision, and there were serious questions about the methodology and the value of those surveys. Surveying the same people over and over again and getting the same answers from the same people is not a satisfactory way of gauging how well the council is performing. And I think we all recognised that at the time. We made the bold decision to save $30,000 and not do it again for a meaningless result. Of course, that incurred some criticism from auditors, and understand that. So that this new pathway forward, Jeff, was innovative solution, and the results are here now. Having Sarah seeking peer review, having PricewaterhouseCoopers do that peer review gives a level of credibility to what I think was a very innovative and a very well-run survey. The results speak for themselves in terms of the number of people who responded. And I think you should all be very proud of the work. I just think that the only question I have is, given the successes, given the improvements recommended by PricewaterhouseCoopers and the way improvements you'll have for next year's survey, what do we see in this that can advantage us when it comes to the plethora of consultations that we have to go through, which generally produce the same sort of result. Same people are making the same comments, and the same people do not participate at all. Strength of our decision making is often determined by the strength of comment or opposition to our propositions. And if we aren't getting people motivated or incited enough to actually say, yes, it's a good idea, or no, it's a dumb idea, then we can't be held, the council can't be held responsible for everything that it, might get wrong. But I just think all in all, it was a good exercise, well-run project, validated, proven. Well done. Well done.
Stefan, have you got any further comments on the community survey and the peer review?
No, I've already said it was a pretty robust in every sense of the word, and provides assurance over those measures that the survey supports.
Good.
So through you, Mr. Chair, can I ask Audit a question, if that's permissible?
Absolutely.
I mean, what have you guys learned from this, Sefton? I mean, it's one thing to chastise and criticise the council for not running a process that it's obligated to run under the Act. But when the process itself is bringing up questionable results, it's, you can understand. I hope Audit New Zealand can understand why council would make a decision to not spend $30,000 in straitened times on a process that is not producing the sort of result. This was quite out of the box thinking, and it was driven by disappointment and financial constraints. I wonder if we'd gone ahead and repeated what we'd always repeated, whether we would have been praised for producing a fundamentally flawed and useless survey. Question.
That's a good question. I can't speak for past decisions, but I'm certain, having come in from outside, if you keep, I certainly am supportive of the steps taken by council. If you are going to just incur costs and get no change out of it, then why bother continuing the process? I was brave, and I can't say anything more other than it actually challenged the thinking internally to say, well, there are other options, and as long as the processes internally can be proven to be robust, then there is no reason it should always be outsourced and costs incurred if there are no benefits. That's about as much as I can say at this point in time.
So through you, Mr. Chairman. So if I could draw another slightly long bow, and forgive me if you think it is, but I do reflect on road smoothness when I'm looking at this, and the pointlessness of an exercise. When there's such inconsistency in the methodology and the cost to a small council like this on examining the road smoothness of every road that we have, logic says it's a dumb idea, but we get criticised for not doing a dumb idea and spending a truckload of money that would have produced questionable results of little value. Question. I'm just hoping that somewhere in there people are able to say, you know what, Carterton could be right.
I think Carterton can actually raise its own flags and tell everyone else what it's done right.
When we take the initiative.
Yeah, I think. Look, if I can just add to that, because I think what gave me, right, I'm an ex-auditor a long way back, right, for an organisation that's mentioned in this report, but it was actually the bit I highlighted was the access and security gave me confidence that there was no management override and could actually skew the results. Right? And I think that was very, very important. And without that and that assurance by PwC that was the case, then I doubt whether I could have actually accepted it, right? But really pleased to see that that was done, right? But also that as it was innovative, right? There's a whole lot of good things in it, and I take on the mayor's comments. Maybe, Mr. Chief Executive, we can look at alternative ways of managing our road smoothness. However, I'm not blaming the auditors.
No, nor am I.
That road smoothness methodology was set by our good friends down in Wellington. That applies to all council, and I would challenge the relevance of it for councils, small councils with low growth.
So through you, Mr. Chairman, I know that having read many Audit New Zealand reports at select committees, which I've always had great confidence and great admiration for the obviously Auditor General, Audit New Zealand, and that world. But I do know that it's up to them also to recommend to the government changes, sensible changes that the government can make. And I am looking forward to the road smoothness report on State Highway 1 between Carterton and Masterton when Audit gets around to looking at NZTA's performance, because I think we're under the third tranche coming up very soon, November. Third tranche of attempting to smooth out the work they did, the road that they built a long time ago. And all I say is Carterton's roads are a damn sight smoother than that.
Right. Okay.
For a lot less money.
Thank you.
I just had one other point. In the report, it mentions considering publishing survey results and including a section showing what actions the council are taking going forward. Is that something that we are doing or have done? And how does that look going forward?
Yes, so currently what we are doing is when the opportunity arises is saying in our on our projects in our current annual report and on Facebook, you told us in the community survey that you wanted this, and now we're delivering this. But I do like the idea of being able to summarise that and condensing it, and so that people can easily find what's coming up in the planning and that kinds of things. So I will certainly take that recommendation on board and see if we can get something that's a bit more condensed.
Can I expand on that comment? So publishing the survey results is a broad statement. So we get a lot of feedback, including individual comments from some of the respondents that run into thousands and thousands of words, and some of which you may not wish to republish. So we publish summary results of all of the data, including all of the trends in the data and what we expect to do with the data. But we're probably not going to publish all of the individual comments. So I just wanted to put that clarification in.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're not publishing everything we get.
All right. Councillor Blue.
Just a question. I know we discussed from this having some pulse point surveys. I'm not sure what the wording is, having one at the library, one at the pool, places where people actually use the facilities.
Mhm.
Is that still the plan? And if so, when are those kicking off?
Yes, and we hope to roll them out in December.
Cool. And so they'll run year round?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So we've.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great report. Great process, Mr. Chief Executive, and your team.
And can I say thank you to Sefton for your feedback and guidance, and we look forward to working closely over the next few weeks on the audit.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much. I think I'll
Thank you.
take my leave as well now.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
might be a
right.
good time. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right. We look forward to meeting in person sometime.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. All right. Any further discussion? We've got two recommendations.
Movers one.
Sorry, movers one.
I'll move.
You're moved. Over seconder. I think
Grace.
Councillor Grace got in by a finger. All right. All those. No further discussion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Our next item is a bit longer, starting on page 39. Our draft annual report. For the members of the public who've had a workshop on this and open, so very welcome to the table. Good.
Karakia katoa. As the chair said, we workshop this morning, but really pleased to bring this draft report to the committee for the last meeting of the training. On the back of the discussion we've had on the community survey, you'll see the report's been redeveloped from last or previous years, really geared to be a lot more engaging and ultimately easier for our community to understand how we're doing, how and what we're doing. There'll be the split this year because of the election, so your endorsement and review and endorsement of the draft report will really lend into the new council having that confidence to hopefully consider and adopt at the end of October. Take the rest as read and happy to answer any questions.
Do you want me to summarise where we got to with the financial aspects? So as we discussed today, the key aspect for this fiscal year was the revaluation of land and buildings, and that includes all of our underground assets as well. So that revaluation was undertaken towards the end of June and was tested by our own team through their own assessments of cost estimates and calculations. It was sense checked by PricewaterhouseCoopers, who have been assisting us through this plan, and was forwarded to Audit and has been reviewed by Audit as the largest component of the draft annual report, the most significant change for this annual report. So that component has been signed or has been completed. I don't want to put words in the auditor's mouth, but they have completed their work on that, and we have no significant changes to the numbers. The numbers that we have in front of us, including our non-financial performance metrics, have been prepared by staff, reviewed by management, and then sense checked and overviewed with PricewaterhouseCoopers, who have been assisting us throughout this process. And we're really happy with where we've landed. We had some feedback this morning on additional commentary that may need to be added into the major variances report, and some typographical errors that we will pick up as well. So the report will change. We also anticipate that Audit may require some further changes as they go through their work over the next couple of weeks. So the final report that will be brought to the new council for adoption may differ from this, but it will substantially be the same as what you see before you today. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the team that has been working behind this. Certainly the finance team who have done all of the financial numbers in support with PricewaterhouseCoopers, Stephen Watson, Jerry, who's been coordinating this, and Sarah Rennell, who's essentially been holding the pen over the entire 100 pages of report and graphs and data. Thank you to everyone. Take questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Just signal that I think I'd like to propose an amendment to recommendation 2 that encapsulates the CE's comments just now, plus this morning's workshops, just signalling.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. I've got some potential.
Yeah.
So let's not do it by way of amendment. When we're ready to move we won't move.
We won't move that. We'll move something slightly different.
Yep, happy, very happy for that. So, there are any questions or comments? Councillor Grace, thank you.
Sure. Thanks. As I said, I asked a bunch of questions this morning and was very happy with the responses. One point that was sort of talked about initially was the fact that of some of those non-financial metrics, there are several that we miss out on by a percentage or two. For those ones that are in the planning department, can I confirm, are they metrics that we set the 100% target, or is that a government target that we must have for the processing of limbs and all those sorts of things?
I would defer to the GM to comment.
So basically the RMA and the building act says that consent shall be processed within 20 working days, or depending on whether it's limited notified or be notified. So that's our target. We want to stick with that. You also have a small team, and if you have anybody sick, like I believe one of the measures was a limb report, that was 1 day out. And the resource consent that was out was for the solar farm where we were about to issue a decision, and 11 weeks later we got submission. We had to see legal advice on can we accept these submissions. So that one, the minute that happened, we were like, this is going over, and we're just going to look at it. So the RMA does have discount policies when things do go over for resource consent. So there is an incentive to try and get everything within timeframes. So I'd rather keep the measure at 100% and then be able to report on why we didn't achieve that, as opposed to setting a lower bar, because I think you do that and then your expectations are, we're going to go meet this target.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, just any other questions
No
first? No, I just
questions,
want to make a statement.
I just, it's really more of a comment, I'm not reinforcing what Councillor Grace has said. Right? I think it's really important where we go really close, right? I think it's really important we actually talk about potentially some of the more critical ones. And I know I raised earlier this morning an issue that was in the Auditor General's report to Parliament on last year's annual reports. And I think one of the other comments they made was particularly around our performance measures. We're really good at saying we didn't make it, but we're not actually really good about saying why. And maybe, I see this annual report process as a journey, not a destination, right? Let's continually look for improvements. And I think we've made, if I can make a comment, I think we've actually made significant progress, both in terms, I found this an easy read, an attractive read, right? It just wasn't all numbers, right? And I think that's really important. But I think it's about that journey about constant improvement.
We certainly tried to speak to some of that with our challenges and looking forward. So the so what question often we haven't answered well in the past. So we have a measurement, and we've really tried to say, as we talked about just earlier, what we plan to do about that and how we're going to address that. So we hope we're starting, as you say, I feel like we are on a journey with our reporting.
And just on that, one of the things that I'm always keen to see again, local government's been criticised for not delivering on its CapEx, right? No one, I think there's been only a few councils that have probably over-delivered in total. No one delivers everything because it's impossible to. But it's again, just what you picked up on, Jerry, it's the reasons and the consequences of particularly of our CapEx, why, didn't we achieve everything? It's not always possible to do it. I think that would be a really good story to tell.
Just, this is not a question, just a comment. I think we've got rid of most of the questions this morning, but I think that the document's really good, but also I think it's worth noting here that the actual outcomes it's reporting on were pretty good as well, that the performance against budget in most cases was very good, considering the slightly uncertain times we live in. I think the council's reasonably well placed financially, you seem to me, from what I can understand, be in a pretty secure, safe position as far as the ratepayers are concerned. I know they will think it's too expensive, but overall, I think it's going to be good.
From you, thank you. It's a compliment, and we'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bryant, thank you.
Thank you, Chair Phil. As I reiterate your comments, Phil, it's about the journey, and I think we are making constant improvement. The thing that still worries me a little bit is the Castle Rock decision, which we won't really know the end of it until we get that audit opinion, and that's always hanging over there. That whilst we've done everything we can in the journey along with PwC, and we see that we can see an end, but until we get that audit opinion right at the end, we don't know how we're going to go, and being non-committal at this stage. And that would be my only thought at this stage.
Any other comments? Yeah,
I just had a couple of others, sort of questions. With regards to two facts on page 59 in the governance section, one of the targets that I think it's worth drawing our attention to is, I mean, you look through this report and so many of the measures council are achieving. One that is a bit of a standout, in my opinion, is the fact that the residents are still unhappy with the governance of this table. And that doesn't reflect you guys, that reflects us. And I just think it's something that we need to be conscious of and mindful of going into, the next triennium, that people are still not feeling represented and they're not feeling heard. And so I just think that's something worth noting in this report, because a lot of the other metrics we're really hitting the ball out of the park. One thing that we're measuring that we haven't in the past is the number of council meetings with Māori representation. The goal was 25%. We got to 17%, which was not achieved. What can council do to change that when the offer is there for there to be Māori representation at every meeting, workshop, whatnot, but the offer's not being taken? Is there something that we could be doing better to improve that metric, or is that just we're measuring it as what it is at this point?
I think the possibility of, so the invitation is to hapu, a specific hapu, and we may be able to widen the invitation to Rangatani and Kahununu as iwi or PSGE.
PSG.
So perhaps that would be the start of that I would like to do is widen that invitation to see if there are representatives from the iwi organisations that would like to attend.
And I support the CEs who have consistently said throughout this triennium that there are 2 treaty settlements in place and both of them carry statutory responsibilities, which Karakia District Council has a share of that responsibility. It is not to the Māori, it is not to the individual hapu, it is to the 2 PSGEs. If PSGEs are invited or consulted with, they are more likely to have consistency of representation and more likely to tell you if they're not going to be there, why. Being open as we have been has been nice, but it's ineffective. And I will not resolve from that opinion that our obligation is to PSGEs as per the deed of settlement enshrined in a parliamentary act. That's it. And the PSGEs are concerned about representation, and you only have to sit down with them and talk about 5 minutes, particularly when they have a hapu representative voting against their preferred option. It is one of those fundamental flaws that the iwi leaders are going to have to meet as their own challenge going forward in this ongoing debate about Māori wards and the value of them and where the elected representative sits in terms of their mandate, as opposed to the iwi's mandate, which is bound in statute. So that's an ongoing, and I don't think Karakia needs to be held accountable or responsible for that. It's for iwi to sort out, but Karakia needs to be mindful as to who we have a statutory obligation to. And we need to lock that in my view, as an outgoing mayor. I'd say. Okay.
Good question.
Can I just also highlight on that governance table is the local government election turnout. So we've just got a question with Audit, because obviously the elections are only once every 3 years. So we're going to struggle to record a measure for every 2 years. So whether it's acceptable to continue, holding over the previous election turnout result as part of our measure. So that's just a question at the moment.
And to follow up your comment, Councillor Ayling, our intention is to redo the community survey every year. And certainly I know that's what Sarah and the team would like to do. So, and one would hope that in a year where we do the survey immediately following an election, that the community might feel that their voice has been heard on governance. And if not, we might have to go back to the drawing.
Yeah.
Well, amalgamate and take away the problem.
Right, any other questions or comments? I've got one other question, so I didn't raise it earlier. On page 61 of the agenda, so I get confused with myself, page 38 of the annual report, we talk about being late adoption of the LTP. We didn't adopt it when we said we were, but we were still within our statutory timeframe.
Yes. Yes, and
right, but it'd be being late in our adoption did delay a whole lot of things. But I think it's just those wordings. I think we just need to be a little bit careful right? We were still within the statutory
Do you
time.
have a suggestion or?
But I think we had publicly intimated when we were going to adopt it. So I think I think management's right to frame it the way they have, because there is a perception that it was going to be done at a certain time. It wasn't, but we always were intending on coming in within the statutory timeframe,
And which we did, yes.
Which we did.
Yes.
So it's the dealing with the perception and dealing with the legality, which is the,
Correct.
I think,
Perhaps we're delayed?
delayed, yeah,
Delayed.
might be.
Yeah.
better
I'm just, I'm not,
Yeah, no,
I'm not-
and I understand why I see both sides.
yeah, it's not
Delayed,
delayed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's just really important.
but being clear within the statutory set timeframe.
Yes. There were one or two that didn't make the statutory timeframe.
It wasn't us.
No, it wasn't us. No, it
It
wasn't us.
wasn't me.
Right. Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions? Thank you, Councillor Grace.
Sorry, I promise this is the last one.
That's-
The last page that I looked at, and I know I've brought this up every time we've had gone through these reports, is on page 119 of the document. The rates increases affordability bar graph versus the debt affordability benchmark bar graph. Before I stood for council, I remember reading through one of these documents trying to see if I wanted to stand, and I looked at this and I thought, what the heck's going on? Because as someone who didn't understand the numbers really, that graph says a lot in my mind. When we've got that bill plus 2% and we're continually way out of it, and the main thing that people think about is affordability. Can they afford to be here? Can they afford the rate? And this council has continued to shoot above that bill plus 2% figure. Whether or not bill plus 2% is a fair measure is something that I know we've talked about. But that is the measure we're marking against here. And in the spreadsheet, it looks like we are continuing to be an unaffordable council that are rating too high. But then you look at our debt and we're so far below the debt ceiling that it's not even funny. It feels like we haven't thought about how we could be working the accounts slightly differently to make it hurt less for our ratepayers. And I just wonder if going forward, new councils might look at these bar charts a little bit closer and how we could make different decisions.
Or look at the definition.
Yep.
I think fundamentally what Councillor Aylan's raising as a question is the definition as quoted applicable or appropriate?
Yep.
I find it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, no, that's a really good question, right? And I was going to say that's probably, as Councillor Grace has said, that's a question for the new council, right? And maybe the chief executive now want, right?
I find it interesting, Councillor Ayling, that the affordability benchmark that we were required to put in the water services delivery plan was different. They used a benchmark comparing average income in the district to the amount of rates, as opposed to this benchmark here, which is set in local government legislation, I think. So perhaps as part of our long-term plan, we may want to reconsider, which affordability benchmark we do use, because I found it really interesting that the DIA benchmark, the most recent one for our water service delivery plan, was quite different.
Be appropriate to ask DIA which should be used,
Given they said both of them.
given that they said.
Yeah, I don't want to make a political statement, but again, there were some problems also with the initial benchmarks. And I remember having a conversation with DIA, and they made the comment is, yes, we'll fix them in due course when we have the capacity, and we'll fix them as part of the water service delivery plan. And of course, some of them were problems they're having with water, right? So again, they've realised the error of their ways, putting it a bit strong, right? There were better ways of doing it, but they didn't have the capacity to change them because it requires regulation.
It's hard.
It's hard, and they had other priorities. All right.
Good point.
Any further comments or questions?
If everyone else has finished, Mr. Chair, through you. Look, I just want to make a statement so it's in the public record. And before I get into that, I just want to say, look, I'm very pleased with the outcome of this annual report. Finally, and I know, as I said in the workshop today, it's been a bumpy road. There was a come to Jesus moment partway through this, and we had to go back and reevaluate. how we were, the rates, the rating figure that was about to be launched. And I think the solution, whilst it may have caused some discussion in some places, I think the council is very comfortable with that solution. It means that going forward, it may or may not become an issue, given that local water done well will take all of that responsibility away from us. So I think it's been an eloquent solution, and not without its challenges, but we're in a very good space. So I want to compliment the comms team on the layout of the report and compliment the staff and under your leadership, Jeff, for the final product. I think all councillors can go out and stand with their heads held high. And if we look back over the triennium as to where we started and where we are now, I think it's a very, very good place. I mean, the councils, I think where things stand, the next council's getting a bit of a gift, actually, and they should recognise that and be happy with that. And hopefully, if all of you are still around the table, you'll be able to carry on the work you've been doing. But I need to put something in the record, and it is this. For those who are watching this video or watching online now or later on in the week, catching up with what's happened with the annual plan and the Risk and Assurance Committee, they need to know that there was a workshop this morning. They need to know that the public were able to attend that workshop this morning. Political candidates currently standing in the election that's in progress right now were all invited to be at that workshop this morning. There were many questions, there were many explanations put, and there are, as a result, a number of minor tweaks and adjustments that are going to have to be done. The meeting was recorded, and that recording will be available in time for the public to see online. So in the interests of assuring the public, the people of the Carterton District, of transparency and openness, the workshop this morning was there for anybody who wished to sit in and observe and to watch and to hear the deliberations, to hear the discussion. It was done that way because it is easier to dig down into the depth and the bowels of a very lengthy document in a workshop environment than it is in a formal meeting such as this. But if someone has an interest and wants to know what was discussed, it is there in the recording, and they can go to that online and watch it themselves. And if they have a need, ask any questions that they may wish to ask as per the normal democratic process. As a result of those conversations, noting that workshops, it is not possible for council to make any decisions at workshops at all. This is the place where those decisions and resolutions are put and either passed or rejected. So as a result of the conversations this morning, there will be amendments to this draft document that we're all deliberating, discussing today. So I say this for the public, and I say this for the people of Carterton District and all aspiring political candidates for the local government election that's in progress right now. Please watch the video. You will be informed. You should be comforted. You should be satisfied that there was good scrutiny of this annual plan this morning. There have been some changes. Those changes are positive. Most of them minor in nature. Some of them simply getting Councillor Lawrence's name spelled correctly, and other minor changes such as that. So with that, the Chair, I leave to you to put two resolutions, one of which will be a revamp of what was initially proposed.
Yes, so thank you for that, Mayor Ron. So what I'm suggesting is one, that we receive the report, take it as the two recommendations together. And I would say that the committee endorses the Carterton District Council's draft, and emphasise draft, annual report for the year ended 30th of June, and noting there will be still minor adjustments as a result of further refinement. It's only refinement, and subject to Audit New Zealand's final review and subsequent opinion.
Before, Mr. Chair, you move to seek to find a mover and a second.
I'm happy for that.
Could I make a slight adjustment?
Absolutely.
In the interest of consistency with accepted practice at this table, could I have it worded in such a way that says, noting that it is still subject to Audit New Zealand review, and authorising the CE and the Mayor to approve and include these final amendments discussed, recommended in the workshop on the morning of the 1st of October, and post any adjustments from the Audit New Zealand's review.
Can I?
You might make it shorter?
No. I don't have a problem with that.
Ran out of paper.
However, it's a new mayor, isn't it?
That's right.
I think it has to be mayor-elect.
Mayor.
See, this is the problem.
Well, I'll still be the mayor until they're sworn in. I can sign it off with you.
I don't think audit will be finished
Until then, until 29th,
17th, isn't it?
17th of
I think.
Yeah.
You swear in on the 29th,
And audit will probably be quite close to that.
so we can sign off.
Yeah.
Until the mayor, until everyone's sworn in
So you vacate the office on the 17th.
on 17th.
The final results are announced.
We have no mayor between the 17th and 29th.
We have a mayor elect.
Control.
There's a mayor-elect.
Yes, yeah, okay. Or you can make it the mayor-elect
Just make it.
and authorising the CE and the mayor-elect.
Can I just help here?
And or.
By
That's
the,
right, CE.
yeah, it could be just a C, but
C.
also what I was going to say was that the mayor at the time the annual report is adopted, prior to the audit opinion being adopted, they have to sign the annual report.
Yes, that's right.
And they also have to sign the letter of representation as well.
That's right.
So there's already an implied sign off by the mayor at the time, but I just, I hear what you're saying.
Just want to cover the CE on the political.
Yeah,
representation.
maybe what we then do is just take your modified suggestion, it's not a recommendation yet,
Yeah.
and just say that the CE be authorised to make minor changes.
Yeah.
What was your wording? Just take out.
Authorising the CE
Yeah.
to make those final amendments recommended in the workshop,
Yes.
and any that arise from Audit New Zealand's review.
Yeah. Can I also, right, just to put another slight spanner in the work, there might be other minor,
Or other minors. as
other
necessary.
minor. Yeah, I would actually,
Or any other minor adjustments.
any other
Yes.
no adjustments,
Yeah.
maybe. But my committee secretary is giving me not quite the evil eye. She's got lost. I've got lost.
So that's what recording's for.
Right? Yeah.
So can I suggest
Yes.
that the authorisation to the CE be a third item rather than we add it to
Yes.
the item?
Yep.
Perhaps we leave the second recommendation as it is, and we add a third recommendation to authorise the CEO and the mayor-elect to make amendments suggested in the risk and assurance workshop and other minor adjustments that may be required.
Correct. Yes, happy with that.
Does it well.
All right, thank you.
What that man said.
All right. All right. Right. So we've got 3 recommendations now. One is 1 and 2 as per the report, and the third, the chief executive, if you'd like to read it again, since you've
To
typed it.
authorise the CEO and mayor-elect to make amendments suggested in the risk and assurance workshop this morning and other minor adjustments that may be required.
Okay, done.
Should they be delegate rather than authorised?
Delegated. Thank you. Delegated. Thank you.
Teamwork.
Absolutely. I was trying to compass that in one resolution, but I failed. That's all right.
You're looking for a mover.
Pardon? Looking for a mover?
Take them in bites.
Mover? Do I have a seconder?
So what are we moving? One?
With the
1, 2,
One.
1.
I do them individually.
Do them individually?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm moving recommendation 1.
You're moving recommendation 1. Do I have a seconder for recommendation? Yes. Okay. All right. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Right, recommendation number 2.
Against?
Against, thank you. I didn't hear. No?
Abstentions?
People wanting their votes recorded.
Yes.
Recommendation number 2, do I have a mover? The mayor?
Yeah.
Do I have a seconder?
Oh, mate.
You, Grace can have it. That's fine. Grace can have it.
I'll do the third one.
Okay, all right. Councillor Lou, all those in favour, please say aye. Those against, carried. Recommendation number 3, do I have a mover? Mayor Ron.
Move it again. Yeah.
Seconder, Councillor Grace. You
Yes,
happy?
yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, carried. Right, thank you very much. Can I have a mover? We move into public excluded.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councillor Vella put his hand up.
Sorry?
I saw Councillor Vella put his hand up.
Are you on?
No, very wrong.
I can move. I can probably.
Okay, Councillor Lou moves. Do I have a seconder? I'll second. Make sure I'm here. All those in favour?
Aye.
Say aye.
Against?
Against? Thank you.
Declare motion carried.
Yeah, thank you.